Yes, we are quite a while ago, about I think roughly 5 years ago, maybe 4 to 5 years ago. It's been a while.
How you
Yeah,
doing?
it'd have been around
I kind of regret
Solitude
my
and Savage.
answers for that last interview, to be honest, because I think you asked me what games I was playing. And I think I gave a really shit answer because I was kind of like in between games. And I should have said, like, I've got the new God of War ready to go because I did, and I was about to start playing it like the day after. And I think I gave such a wanky answer for whatever.
Well, on that then, actually, let's just dive in there with that one then, Rob. What are you playing right now?
At the moment, quite a lot of Helldivers 2. I've also still got God of War Ragnarok waiting to be played that I bought when I bought my PS5. Haven't touched it because I think when I bought it, Spider-Man 2 was just coming out, so I had that pre-ordered and ready to go. So I've just had a constant like fucking overturn of games. I'm one of those kind of gamers that like I've probably got about 50 games that I've bought and just haven't even started, and then probably about 15 that I've started and haven't finished. So I've got a library to come back to.
No, I completely get it. I only just actually finished up Red Dead Redemption 2 this last week, and
Nice.
then dived into the Elden Ring DLC. So, yeah, you try and do as much as you can.
Yeah, Elden Ring is on my list, but I keep seeing video play of it, and I've never played many of the From Software games, so I'm a little bit intimidated, but I'm going to give it a go at some point.
Worth it, but yeah, intimidating. What about you, Adam? Are you playing anything? Do you play anything?
I don't really play games, to be honest. I don't have any console. The last thing I was playing was the new Curse of Monkey Island.
I
think came out last year. But me and my wife had a falling out over who. Like, we started playing it together, and then I was like playing it, like solving puzzles that she wanted to solve and stuff like that. So we put it to one side.
Yeah, me and Nicky nearly had a domestic. We were playing It Takes Two a couple of years
ago.
It came out during lockdown, and we thought, oh, this would be great, and then we nearly came to blows so many times, just fighting over who was supposed to be doing what.
Video games and marital strife. You do what you need to do to keep your other half happy. Adam, Rob, look, thanks so much for taking the time to do this first. That's absolute pleasure to speak to you. So let's just start with a check-in, really, to kind of get a vibe of how you're going, things are going at the moment. Starting with you, Adam. How are you at the moment?
I'm all right. Slightly hungover from a family barbecue yesterday, but other than that, things are going well. Caught a bit of sun on my face. The weather's nice. It's all going good. Still a bit stiff from Saturday as well. We played a show at Rebellion. It was the owner of Rebellion's birthday, and we headlined that. And yeah, it was a good do. But yeah, feeling the stiff neck from throwing down on stage, but on that, can't complain.
Yes, such is the life of the rock star. How about you, Rob? How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Yeah, did a bit of stuff in the garden this weekend on Sunday. That was nice. After we played the gig on Saturday, of course. Same about the aches and pains. No amount of limbering up seems to prepare you anymore for like doing gigs when you're approaching your 40s so quickly. It's my for some reason just one leg. I was really giving it some beans on Saturday. Moving around a lot. I think because there wasn't like a huge crowd, so I was just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to make sure I have some fun with it. So I was just doing a lot more bopping around. I had a few beers as well, so that probably went hand in hand.
Worth it though, right? Worth it. It was a good show.
It was, yeah. We played great. We smashed it. Yeah,
good to hear.
Adam said it's the owner's birthday as well, and he had a good day, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always nice when Jason has us on. He always treats us really well. We love playing Rebellion, so it's always a fun time, even if it's a bit of a thin crowd. We always have a belter.
Yeah, and the turnout was decent, but I think it's always the thing with when you play those all day gigs. The best slots are actually in the middle of the day. You don't want to be playing right then, because by that time, like, people have either got too drunk and peeled off home, or just like milling around in the smoking area and stuff like that. Like,
I think if the doors open at 2, you want to be playing at about 6, 7 o'clock, because that's the peak hour.
Yeah,
everyone's
the headliners usually get the short straw, really.
I'm glad it went well, and I'm glad everything currently feels like it's going well. But I don't think we can start any kind of interview off by talking with you guys, but talking about the here and now of Barbarian Hermit. We first got to go back a bit, really, because it's been 5 years since the release, obviously, of Solitude and Savagery, and a lot has happened since then. So I'm just going to ask you if you possibly can sum up the past 5 years for Barbarian Hermit.
In 3 words, up and down. Yeah, to put it bluntly. We lost Ed. He wanted to go and do some other stuff with his other projects. That was like right at the start of lockdown. And we wanted to carry on, obviously. You know, we wanted to try and keep the ball rolling. Managed to talk Sai into coming back. And then we spent a lot of lockdown doing, you know, a load of writing and trying to get as many meetups as we could while it was still, you know, pretty restrictive. But we managed to fumble through it. It took us a good while, but yeah, there was, I think there were a good few blows coming to head when we got into the writing room and stuff, and we were trying to, you know, make a lot of decisions as it got closer to the actual recording of it as well, especially. Yeah, like I say, a lot of ups and downs, but we managed to overcome it. And, you know, as people who've been in a band for this long do, you become brothers, don't you? And brothers fight all the fucking time. So it becomes more of a family effort than anything. And the more you remember that, the easier it gets after you've had these little arguments and stuff. And you get them out of the way. You always turn it back around.
Yeah, and I think the songs have benefited, I think, from a bit of headbutting and not literal headbutting, but like the work that we put in to make sure that the songs were as good as it could be. And I think there were just like strong opinions, and I think the songs have benefited from us, like from the passion that was there. And we were arguing all the time, but I think sometimes the pressure gets to you when there's these big decisions to be made over artwork and whether the song should end there or finish there, or if this riff should go there or that riff should go there. But I think if you put the work in, that's the song's benefit in the end, really.
But yeah, like too many chefs, can't it, sometimes?
Yeah. But yeah, I think lockdown was an interesting time. Like, we all had to teach ourselves how to use like home recording software and stuff like that, and so we made sure we were still active and writing, and yeah, a bunch of the songs are written at home and then brought into the room, and all the times where we could only go in 2 at a time. So like maybe like myself and Gaz, the drummer, would go in and work on a bit, and then maybe Mike and Gaz, it'd always be Gaz, because you need to work with the drummer to get these riffs done. And then we're sending files back and forth. The whole thing took ages to do, really, which is why it was a 5-year gap to get this new album finished. But yeah, we got.
Well, it's so easy to forget, really. We're saying 5-year gap, but 2 years at least minimum of those were COVID, lockdown, and all the rules and regulations around that. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, it was great. I remember the first show that we did back, we played at the Alma, which is a place we've played donkey. I think our first gig was there, so we've been playing
Bolton.
There. In Bolton, yeah. And they put an outdoor show on, but because of the way the regulations were at the time, everybody had to be seated. So it was an interesting one. About, like, I mean, by the last song, everybody was on the feet and maybe breaking some of those restrictions. But
it was a bit like doing a fun service or something, wasn't it? Everyone was just like sat in rows in pews,
on pews,
like, trying to be on their best behaviour. But you know, sunshine and beer gets into everybody, and everyone was up dancing by the end. So it was a really good little comeback gig.
Yeah. Felt good to be on stage again. First gig with Sai back and all that. Yeah.
Well, I suppose that there is. I think people paying attention to a significant thing that's definitely coming about from the last couple of years is obviously Simon returning to vocals. For those who might not know, he was part of your debut EP1 back in 2016. So it's not a natural thing for you guys. How did that come about? Was it quite simple?
Well, yeah, like I said, things were coming to an end with Ed. I think at the time when Sai had left, he wanted to concentrate on a business that he just started up, which he was no longer part of. Like the business had started, and then it moved on to a new business which was sort of well established. So his time wasn't as taken up with that. So I think he was on the side. He'd been working on with a couple of other bands, just sort of dipping his toe back into singing and performing anyway. So yeah, Mike just messaged him and said, "Look, where you at, kind of thing. Would you want to come back if the space was there?" And he said, "Yeah, love to." So yeah, but like I said, that was sort of, I think it was in the first summer of second lockdown or something like that. I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
So things were still a bit restricted to what we could do with him in terms of getting him into the room and writing. But yeah, he jumped straight in. We sent him some of the songs that we'd been working on, and he came up with some vocal ideas straight away, and yeah, things sort of went from there.
He sounds phenomenal. He does. He's sounding great in this record.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he absolutely knocked it out of the park in the studio. Right.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a tricky time just because he's on probably day 3 of his 1.5 of his vocal sessions. He started to develop like a really bad cough and chest infection.
Yeah.
So we had to cut his vocal recording short and then work on other stuff. And then he went back into the studio over the next couple of months. And I think he must have been allergic to some of the dust or something in the room, because every time he went in, did a couple of songs, then it'd come back with the chest infection. So it took him a good like 3 or 4 months to get it all done. But he got there in the end, and it was, yeah, like I said, the actual performance itself. Like some of the times when I'm listening to, especially like the last song, "Heal the Tyrant," like I still get the fizzes on the back of your neck when I listen to that tune. And yeah, really proud of the guy.
Do you feel that you're stronger for the trials and tribulations that you went through over the past couple of years?
I think so,
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, I think we are. Like I say, you become brothers after a little while of being in a band together. Especially like we've all had history for a good while. Like you've been in the band since pretty much inception, haven't you, Ad? With Mike. Obviously, Si was there from early doors. Me and Gaz have been in a band together before Hermit, and I had actually I've probably known Si for about 20 years. So we had all known each other in weird little ways throughout the years. And my old band as well, before I joined Hermit, and in between a band with Gaz, used to play with Barbarian Hermit all the time around Manchester. So we were all pretty familiar with each other. So I think that went a long way to sort of building that relationship, and especially to keeping us quite strong throughout COVID. Again, obviously there were the few times when we all got a bit pissed off with certain things, and doing the album, doing all the recordings and the writing and everything. It's it's like the song is it Schism by Tool, where they all talk about like, I know the pieces fit and watching them fall away and then all coming back together again. There were little sort of touches of that, a little thing along the way, but yeah, you rebuild and you make that structure as firm as you can, if not stronger. So yeah, I think we are now that all the admin and stuff is out of the way and it's finally about to be released. It's just a case of sitting back and enjoying, what you've created, isn't it? You get to sort of survey what you built, and it's just all the happy vibes now. That we can sit back and relax a little bit. So yeah, it feels a lot more. Feels like it's all come together.
I'm glad you feel that, because this period, the build to an album release, doesn't mean the work stops. You know that. You've got a lot of promoting to do. You've got videos to release. You've got songs to put out there, and social media numbers to study, and the stats and all of that to try and, as you get towards the release. We've had we've had 2 tracks, because at the time of recording, the title track was released today, this evening. But alongside that, of course, we've had Stitched Up, which has been out a bit longer, so a little bit more reaction on that front. The reaction to Stitched Up has been predominantly positive. Still too early to talk about Moon Sugar, but I suspect it's going to be exactly the same as well with that. Are you pleased with the sort of general positive vibes that are coming from the listener base?
Absolutely. I was really flabbergasted by just how many people were sharing the video and commenting on it and stuff like that, and it was all seemed to be really positive. I mean, we kind of knew it was a good song anyway. That's why we picked it as the first single. It was one of those that when we seemed to come together really quickly. Like we wrote that over like a couple of sessions, and it was just like, it's always been one of those songs where you're like, yeah, it's got something about it. I mean, we're proud of all the songs on the album, but that one especially, just because I mean it's quite different to a lot of our other stuff. It's a bit more catchy, a bit more almost poppy, I'd say, even though it's still got some huge riffs in it. But yeah, we kind of knew that we liked it, and a few other people might do. But yeah, to see those guesses confirmed that people are digging it is very nice
to see
feeling
that people were
indeed.
still there after we hadn't put anything out for a little while, apart
Yeah,
from like the one re-release. So we still had people that were listening, which was quite reassuring for us as well.
Why did you choose Mean Sugar, the title track, as the next one to release?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said why did you choose it as the title?
No, as the next, as the next single to be released.
Okay, sorry, that's why I started laughing, because I was like, "Fucking hell!" It nearly wasn't so many times. that went through a few arguments to try and get the name
down. I think it was well, Sai who made the video, and we needed the next song that had a video to go with it, and that happened to be the next one that was ready. Plus, again, it was out of the list of, if you were to maybe rank them in like sort of single order. I think again it's another strong one. It's quite short and snappy. Yeah, another strong song on the album. And then hopefully I think Battle of Compromat is going to be next at some point. We're working on a video for that. Don't know when that's going to be ready though, but we will have a video for that at some point.
Plenty of time, because obviously we've got to get to August 2nd. And just to throw them in there as well, of course, this record comes out via APF Records, the wonderful label there. But now I want you to talk to me about the formative stages of Mean Sugar. So I'm going to have to ask you to take your mind back a bit. And really, it's the earliest point and the vision. Did you have one? Did you have an idea of what that might look like?
I don't know. I think it was just a matter of just getting used to writing again. There was, I think, one song, it's a Deadbolt, was sort of nearly fully formed before Sai joined, but the rest were all written like after Sai joined. It was just a matter of writing some riffs that we like the sound of. I think probably one of the conscious decisions I sort of wanted to make was not as many like long meandering songs. Keep them around. I mean, there's still a couple of like 6 or 7 minutes on there, but it's the most 4 or 5 minute songs that we've ever written in one. So we wanted to keep it a bit more direct and to the point. But other than that, yeah, it was just a matter of getting together and writing some songs that we enjoyed playing, and hopefully that would translate into the audience enjoying as well.
I think one thing that took a bit longer once we were getting it ready was that like a lot of the stuff that we already had like pre-cooked before the side joint, like you say, Deadbolt was one of the ones that we'd been tinkering with, but that pretty much completely changed by the time Syed come into the fold. Like from when we started writing it, it's a completely different song. I think we had like another like 3 sort of half songs that we were working with as well. We had one that was fully written that ended up sort of just being an instrumental track that we decided to kind of strip down and take a little bit into other songs. So from when Ed departed until Sai joined, and then until the album finishing, the whole thing we just sort of went in this weird cycle of being or recycle, I guess, and we just put things into other parts, and yeah, so it went through quite a few changes. I don't know if there was ever like a direct vision of what we wanted to do with it. It was just sort of, let's just keep writing, let's see if anything fits into like a concept or anything, and nothing really did. It just sort of, they're all just sort of standalone things. They were the ones that we were most happy with eventually, and that's just we just sort of decided to focus on all our favourites, and then
and in the when it comes to writing as well, Sai is really quite is good at like directing the music as well to what he can do vocally, like stripping down a riff or changing it or lengthening it and stuff. Whereas Ed was maybe a bit more, we providing with music, and whatever we presented him with, he'd write some vocals over the top. But Sai was a bit more like hands-on with it, which again has worked in our favour, because it's a bit more cohesive in terms of where the vocals and the riffs are sitting together, and it's worked well.
A few times where he was like, okay, we need to play this section twice as long, and this bit should go at the start instead of in the middle. And he was very good at helping us sort of structure things as well, which was nice.
You enjoyed that? Did you enjoy that? Like there was no like egos getting bruised by it or anything like that?
I mean, there were maybe some. There's sometimes when you're like, no, where you say, I get what you're saying, but we'll keep it this way. But I think overall, I think if it's to benefit the song, then you listen to the ideas.
you pick your battles every now and
Yeah,
then. But it's, if you know it's going to work and it's going to benefit the song, then you just you listen and see how it goes.
We try it one way. If somebody's got a suggestion, we try it the other way, and then we record it, listen to it back, and see which one works best. And, yeah.
Well, in those early days, those early ideas are coming together. How experimental did you find yourself getting? Because obviously you know what Barbarian Hermit sounds like, you know what you want it to sound like, but obviously you don't want to stagnate either. So was there a lot of experimenting going on and a lot of stuff dropped because it was too much?
I think in the early writing process, there was like Bobby mentioned, there was a song that was, I think, probably knocking on 9 minutes long that we've ended up chopping down into. It was almost 3 songs just put together, and that was just seeing what we could do. I think in the end, like the short, punchy, direct approach, I think worked well this time around. And yeah, during lockdown, there was probably a lot of times, I mean, experimenting, just sitting and writing riffs, and probably not many of them got brought to the room, but because you didn't have anything else to do but sit at home and whittle. So there was a bit of experimenting being done, but how much of that ended up on the album, I don't know.
Did you have a particular point then when you recognize, look, here we have the body of an album. We have X amount of tracks. Things are coming together nicely. This is complete, that's complete. And we have the picture in your head, either what the artwork might look like, what the track listing might look like. Was there a particular point when that started to come together?
I think at one point we were trying to, I think it had a bit of a leading effect where we were trying to sort of make sure that we didn't write too many long songs, as we said, but we wanted to try and also make sure that it was a bit more condensed, so that it could go on to a vinyl, which I think had a bit of a leading role, didn't it? We wanted to try and make sure it was like under 45 minutes. Although we didn't want to bookmark any studio time until we had gotten a certain amount of songs ready. I think it got to a point where we'd been writing for like 2 years, and I think we had like 6 ready or something. And we're like, right, okay, we need maybe 8, 9. Or, we'll try and write over whatever we think we need, and we'll just sort of cherry pick the best ones. But yeah, I think it got to a point where we were trying to like cram as much writing sessions in as possibly could, so that we had like the minimum amount just to go into the studio with, and then trying to keep in mind the length of it as well. So
there was one point where we actually booked the studio for about 6 months in advance, thinking by that time we will have 45 minutes worth of music and more to go into the studio. But then as we were approaching that date, we knew that some of the songs maybe needed a bit more work, and we'd not quite got to that point, so then we postponed it. And because I think it was just there was enough sort of material in terms of the songs, like we had enough sort of half finished songs, but we knew that they just needed a little bit more finessing in certain bits. But I mean, I think there was one of the songs that was not quite 100% finished until maybe the week before the studio. Like, we were always working on stuff and making sure it was as polished as it could be before we went in, like demoing stuff. Like, it's the first time we've gone into the studio with demos to show the producer, and I think that went to our benefit as well.
I think it did too. I mean, I've heard the album. In fact, it was my listening experience of the entirety of my morning today. And although it's cliche, the term "all killer no filler" applies here very much so. And I also want to mention the vinyl is gorgeous. So, it was well worth getting that done.
Yeah.
Individually, then, sort of taking the whole process, and I mean from beginning to the very, very end here, individually, what were some of the more challenging parts for you?
Do you want to go first, Bobby?
I think for me, some of it was trying to learn how to sing again a little bit, because I used to be like one of the lead singers in a band, and we wanted to make more of an effort to put backing vocals into this album. I think there's like 3 or 4 songs where there are like nice little pockets of backing vocals going on to try and complement what Si's doing. So that bit for me was a bit of a test, just to see if we could still actually do it. And once we got into the studio, I'm quite good at figuring out harmonies just sort of on the fly. Like, we didn't do any real prep before we went into the studio. A lot of the harmonies that you hear on the album were written in the studio. I'm a bit of a fucker for that, to be honest. I'll have like half-cooked bass lines that I want to put on, and I'll have like 2 or 3 different flourishes or something in mind, and then I'll just sort of, I'll record it and I'll go, no, actually I want to put a different one on, and I'll re-record, and I'll just pick the favorites one, and then I'll have to go back and re-listen to the record and remember what I was playing and which one I actually went with. So I think for me it was just sort of trying not to be too indecisive with what bass lines I was picking, and the vocals were the biggest test for me, I think. And making sure I didn't like play too much over the other guys, or sometimes, like they say with bass, less is more. So it's just a case of trying to be pretty precise and strategic with the stuff that I was putting in there, not be too fiddly where it didn't call for it.
I suppose for me, as well as the lockdown, I also had the unfortunate an accident where I fell down the stairs and broke my hand, which for a guitar player isn't ideal. So there was a good period of I think I was out for about 3 months where I couldn't play, and then having to sort of do the physio of getting, like, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to play anymore, but luckily it's there's no lasting damage or anything. But that was a pretty scary time. But
hell yeah,
yeah. But yeah, it was, I think I was just about recovering as we were allowed to go back into the practice room again during lockdown. So I'd still go in and like sit there in the corner drinking and like change that riff, play that faster.
Delegate it from you.
Yeah.
I know on top of that though, a guitar player that breaks his hand during the process. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
Right, take that and flip it around then. We talked about challenges. I want you to kind of talk about the reflection in a positive way. When you reflect on the experience, the last couple of years, and working and creating this album, what will be your overriding positive memory?
I think for me, it was 10 days that we spent in no studio. It was probably just over a year ago now. Like, so it was sort of that sunny May that we had last year. Or going out, I live in Bradford, but the rest of the lads live in Manchester. So driving over in the sunshine and then going and spending all day in a dark, dingy basement. but with Mr. Joe Clayton, who's a fantastic guy to work with, absolute pro. There's a reason why he's really in demand. Like, and yeah, we just had a great time. Just like laying down the songs and seeing our hard work in writing coming together through the speakers as we're slowly piecing this thing together. Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite memory of the whole last couple of years.
I think I'd probably say the same, to be honest, because it's one of my favorite parts of being in the band is like the writing, obviously, the playing on stage, and going into the studio. I find myself really coming out of my shell when I'm on stage, where I find myself the least nervous or shy I ever usually am. I'm not a very shy person anyway, or nervous really, but it comes out in spades when I'm on stage. In the writing room, I feel like I'm pretty good at helping to structure and write stuff. So that's where I didn't put like a hell of a lot of riffs on this album. I think I was the same with the last album. Like, I put mine in selectively, but like structuring and helping out with doing stuff like that is where I shine. And studio stuff is one of my favorites because you feel like you're on another planet sometimes. And working with Joe was surreal because we've never worked with a producer like that before. With his, I don't know, he's just got this certain vibe to him, hasn't it? We've worked with fantastic, not to put any of the other guys down that we work with. They're all fantastic in their own rights. But this was obviously a new flavour that we were trying for the first time, and it was delicious. Yeah, working with him was fantastic. He's great at what he does. He wasn't afraid to get in there and tell us that I think you should try this, or like we'd play a riff, he'd be like, "That was shit, try it again." Yeah, he really got in there, hands-on approach, and that it just made the whole experience even better. So yeah, getting to book a load of time off work, and just spend however many days in the studio with these guys, just having a few beers and entering away and trying to play stuff. And
I'd say the first few days especially were great because we were all there sort of supporting each other, even though we were just tracking drums. Everybody was there sort of watching, and we had to do some like guide guitars and things like that, but yeah, it was a good bonding experience for the band as well, just to spend it's almost like a little mini holiday. I mean, although by sort of day 3 or 4, when you're listening to the Joe edit the drum tracks and all you're hearing is over and over again. Oh, it's like a 2 minute section played over and over and over again, just as he's doing all the little tweaks. It's fascinating to watch at first, but after a while you start to go mad because you can just hear the same section over and over again. But
such is life.
Worth it. Yeah, it's all part of the process.
It is phenomenal to have you guys back, you know, with Solitude and Savagery, you were too good to just disappear. It's taken a while to get to Mean Sugar, but we are almost there, and it is a phenomenal release. And my feeling is that this is all systems go, that this is a big deal to all of you personally. It means a lot to get this release out, but this is, I don't want to use a cliche term like starting gun, but on those vibes, you know, now we really get the ball rolling. That in theory we won't have, fingers crossed, anything like the COVID pandemic lockdown period ever again. So, you know,
it's all systems go now. We're just in the process of pulling things together. We're going to have an album launch party, so on the 3rd, so that on the Saturday when it comes out. We've got a decent lineup for that with our friends in Under and Shred Dibner and Bodak. So getting stuff ready for that, and then we're just in the early talks of booking a tour, probably towards maybe October time. Nothing set in stone yet, but we're sort of approaching venues and things like that. And hopefully next year, getting some of the festivals. I'd love to play Arctangent. We'd love to return to Bloodstock. It's been a few years since we played there. Maybe and some of the others. Damnation. Love to get on there.
Anything, right?
But yeah.
They offer you Glastonbury, you'll take it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I think that'll be the next sort of year. We'll be planning playing live, and then getting back into writing mode as well. Like we've been rehearsing the Mean Sugar songs for since they've been finished, and obviously we've had quite a few gigs over the last year. But I think now it's time to get back into writing mode and hopefully it won't be a 5-year gap before the next thing comes out. But we've got a few ideas cooking already, but nothing finished as of yet. But I think we'll have a bit of break from playing live between sort of August and October, hopefully, and then we can maybe get some new material in the bag.
I don't think I ever speak to an artist, a band, who doesn't, in some way, while we're trying to promote your current and upcoming record, proceeds to start talking about what comes afterwards. It would be almost shocking if you didn't. All right, guys, I want a couple more minutes of your time. This is Ozzy Osbourne, and in his head are random cards of everything and everything, including submissions from bands and artists we've spoken to over the past few years, who then offered up their questions as well. I'm going to pull some out at random. I'm going to say your name, and you have a go at answering.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, nice and simple one. We'll start with you, Rob. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Yeah. Black, milk, sugar. What's the?
I have mine now with 1 sugar and usually oat milk or almond milk. Usually like 1.5 spoons of coffee in there is all pretty strong. I like it. I'd still love a cup of tea, but I find myself drinking coffee more often than not these days.
Fair enough, right? Adam, if you could be any animal, what would you choose?
I mean, it'd be pretty cool to be able to fly, wouldn't it? I think so. Some kind of bird, not a pigeon, like an eagle. No one's going to mess with an eagle, are they?
Anyone that chooses a bird is never going to say a pigeon. They're going to go for a glorious bird, aren't they? A hawk.
Yeah,
something that can kill.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, you've got what country or culture has the best food in your opinion?
I'm probably going to go with Japanese, to be honest, because I love Japanese food. And they come out with some cool and weird shit.
Sushi? You a sushi fan?
I love sushi. Yeah, sushi. I probably eat noodles a couple of times a week. I love a good bit of gyoza. Anything with a bit of ramen and soup in there. And sushi. Delicious. I love making sushi. I love eating it. Everything about it. Yeah, big Japanese cuisine fan.
Yeah. All right, Adam. Do you believe in ghosts or spirits?
I don't think I do. No, I think it'd be cool if they did exist. I like a good ghost story. but I don't think I actually believe that they are there.
I think I am at one point, but I've become a bit agnostic on that whole thing.
Oh, Rob, it's time for a shot. What are you ordering?
It's got to be some kind of tequila, maybe a Cascabel, one of the little coffee fellas. Again, going back to coffee, I love the stuff. But yeah, I've pretty much always got, but I've not at the moment because I just finished it like last week. But I've usually always got a bottle of Cascabel in the fridge. But I won't shoot it. I'll have it in make it into more of a long drink. I'll put like a good couple of shots in there with a couple of ice cubes and just sip it because it's absolutely gorgeous.
Adam, what are we up to? Adam, what's a recent experience that made you feel old?
Don't know. I mean, taking like 2 days to recover from a bit of headbanging on stage makes you feel really old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that, isn't it? Even if it's just a hangover that takes a little bit longer now, it does make you feel old. All right, right, guys. I think because this is a all right, you can both take this one because it comes from Jason Evans, the vocalist of Ingested, and it's a little bit out there. So both of you have a go with this one. Would you rather have dicks for fingers and toes, or a dick for a tongue?
A dick for a tongue?
Yeah. So fingers and toes or a tongue?
Probably the...
I mean, how big is the dick tongue? Would you be able to talk?
I'm gonna add that it would be the size and length of your current tongue and thickness and all of that.
Oh, it's a good job it's not the size of my current dick. I would probably go the fingers and toes, I think. It's because I don't want a dick in my mouth.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think you can learn how to be dexterous.
Yeah, that one hasn't come up much because sometimes I've even had to put it to the side depending upon who I'm speaking to. Okay, right. In fact, you can both start taking both of these if you want, make it a bit more fun. All right, the dead have risen. Your only weapon is what is around you right now. So something around you right now you are grabbing and you're using to fight your way out of a swarm of dead people.
I've got a shelf that's not been put up yet.
Oh, all right, it's got an edge
sticking out of it and stuff. I think that could probably be pretty deadly.
I think I've actually got quite a few weaponish type of things at my disposal. I've got 3 hockey sticks over here. I've got like 4 guitars, 2 of which are extremely heavy, so they probably put a dent in something's head.
I've got some guitars there as well.
Got some dumbbells behind here as well that I could probably do some damage with.
Nice.
I think I'd be all right if I was left to just whatever was in this room. I think I'd survive at least a few of them.
Yeah, funny how no one ever mentions their instruments. Can't be smashing them up even if the dead are there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 that I don't use as often anymore, so you know, I've got a separate 6-string now that I use all the time, so I think that'd do some damage, and I probably wouldn't miss it because I've got my backup at the studio.
All right, let's do this one then. As a child, was there a game show you really wanted to go on?
Gladiators. Does it count as a game show? I think it counts.
What was it?
Get Gladiators.
Gladiators. I used to love that. I always wanted to go on. Was it Funhouse, the one with Pat Sharp?
Yeah. No, that'd be sick.
I always wanted to go on that just because the actual Funhouse looked mint. I actually knew a guy at primary school who went on it like twice, and I hated him because I was so
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? That Funhouse or Finders Keepers was another one that I thought would have been like a blast. But yeah, like what a lucky get.
Yeah, I reckon Takeshi's Castle would be fun to go on.
Oh yeah.
That is one of the most popular answers to that question when it comes out. Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah.
All right. What is something you would like to understand better?
Languages.
I was going to say, I've been trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo. I thought I was doing okay, and then I went to Tenerife on holiday, and I was just like, this is useless. Absolutely useless.
Yeah, weirdly, I came into my head like 2 days ago, just when you have that little shower thoughts or whatever, and I was thinking like if someone could give you if you had a wish, or you could have like a minor superpower that wasn't very helpful but would be like something that you would think was cool. I think like to be able to speak and understand, read and write every language Or
I'll do that,
just to have, like, you know, the thing from Hitchhiker's Guide, the little babble fish that you just stick in your ear and you can understand everything. It translates for you. That'd be cool.
Well, I don't think we're far off that, you know.
Probably.
Yeah, the Google earpods. I mean, it's not in real time. It takes a couple of minutes to translate, but I think that's the way technology with AI and stuff. Yeah, it's scary.
All right, fellas, I've got two more for you. Simple one: pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Yeah, why not? I'm not one of those people who has a strong opinion either way. I won't order one, but if somebody offers me a slice, I'm not going to turn my nose up at a free slice of pizza.
Yeah,
but I think it's okay.
Yeah, good pizza is good pizza, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't go out on my way to find one, but if it was there, I would eat it.
Fair enough. And lastly, what is a current trend that you would like to see disappear?
There's a couple.
Go on, hit 'em.
I don't like the thing I haven't got TikTok, right? But I keep seeing videos of people that are astounded by this thing where people pretend to be NPCs and they just talk just the most incessant shit I've ever heard. And it just makes me think, like, what the fuck is going on in your head to make you want to do that as like a profession?
Yeah.
That and like 90% of reaction YouTubers, they just get on my tits. Like, some of them are pretty funny and they actually add something to the videos, and I don't mind those. I'm not against the whole thing as a concept, but yeah, just most of the ones who just sit there watching a video going, yeah, brilliant. It's like, fuck off, mate, get a job. What are you doing?
For me, I don't know if you've seen these reels of guys just getting dressed and going, "This is what I'm wearing today. I've got a t-shirt. These are my trousers. And today I'm wearing this cologne." Like, what's point in telling us what we can't smell through the through the phone? But yeah, I think I must have rage clicked too many of them, and I'll get shown them all the time.
Is it supposed to be like ASMR?
I don't know what it is. It's just like, one of the guys, he does this weird, like, let's get dressed, and it does it does, like, it is a bit ASMR, but it's just
I haven't been subjected to that yet, but it just smacks of like those kind of people where their entire personality is just the fact that they have a phone.
Yeah.
And that's it.
They all wear the trousers very high and shirts tucked in, which I think that trend can bugger off. So
I probably sound really fucking old saying that. I've not been bought into the TikTok generation, but it already pisses me off. Mostly, I'm sure there's a lot of great shit on there as well.
It is just having to dig to find some of that, and sometimes it's not worth it. I have to ask, considering you're in a band and you've got to push yourselves as much as humanly possible, one of those is TikTok. Have you had a discussion? Have you considered a band TikTok?
We were talking about it the other day, actually, just because Fieldy, who runs APF, he's recently started one. I think his daughter, his 18-year-old daughter, showed him how to do it, and he's actually got some, like, we sent him a clip of that I'd cut up of the Stitched Up video, and he posted that, and it got some really good, got like 1,000 views or something like that in a day. So yeah, I think there is an argument for it, but it's just, I don't think you'd see us getting dressed tell us what we're wearing that day. But I think we usually we create some video content, like by chopping up some of the music videos or maybe some footage and stuff. So we've got some footage to share, but it's just whether we use it enough, kind of thing. Yeah.
Anyway, we can get the word out because once again, just to remind people, Meat Sugar is out on August 2nd via APF Records. Phenomenal record. I can't wait for people to hear it. And of course, as of today, time of recording, the actual title track came out as well. So do check that out. Adam, Rob, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.